Don't worry, you won't remember a thing.
Come back to our mind. Something you once knew. You don't remember.
You can't remember anything?
No.
Did you forget?
Who am I? What am I? Now wait a minute. Remember,
This world is not real.
We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
The radio have brought us closer together.
Reaching millions throughout the world. To those who can hear me, I say.
What?
Forget about it.
Don't you remember?
Got it memorized.
What is wrong with you? I can't remember this shit.
You don't remember. Why am I not surprised?
Don't take it personally. I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
Gluten-free waffles, sir.
That's right.
I don't remember a goddamn thing.
The body cannot live without
Why do I always forget my words when I speak?
Drop down.
Remember the time.
Doc, none of us could remember anything. None of us could remember.
Remember. Write it down.
Nobody likes you!
Remember this day.
Keep it in mind. Come on, find a pen. Write this down. Write the price down. Write it down. Come on. Concentrate.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. And that show is Won't Remember a Thing.
That's right.
I'm BJ over here, and that is
Gene.
There you go. It has been, I mean, at least for our lives, certain things have changed and happened. So let's give you a little backstory over this past month. Obviously, me and Gene are still doing the podcast as normal, but Gene does not work with me anymore, which won't get into any details with that. But for me, it's been quite a... Without Gene being at work, man, there's nothing to take off the edge at work. Gene knows what I'm talking about. Like, again, we won't go super deep because, you know, we don't want, if anybody's going to listen to it, we don't want to drop names or whatever the fuck. But he knows what I'm talking about when, man, and I'm sure other people are feeling this when they're at their works too. Like,
The place is full of zombies.
that and just like full of fucking, not, I wouldn't say people who should stay in their lane, because that's not technically what I'm trying to get at, but it's like people just don't know when to just leave well enough alone. It's more or less, I don't think it's what people say to somebody, it's more of how they deliver it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I could even say a lot of the stuff that's been pissing me off at work has almost nothing to do with what was said or like what is being told to me. It's more of the delivery that's being brought to me. And I'm a pretty, you know, I can normally talk to somebody if I feel like they're giving me, they're not just coming at me, they're actually just like trying to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that gets lost with people who get up in like higher positions.
Yeah.
And not saying that every single person gets there and like turns into like an asshole or a cunt.
Right.
But you know, it does happen quite frequently. It happens a lot. And I mean, even with like people outside of that, it's like some people just feel like they're like higher than everybody else, so they feel like they should be able to come at people when it's like you should approach the situation in a different way, and the results would have definitely been different. You just don't want to interact with assholes. You know what I mean? Like you just don't.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, we're not that old.
Pretentious ass fucks.
Right. It's like I said, it's not the things that are being said to me. Like most of the conversations at work that have been brought to me because I've done something wrong, I will literally sit and talk about. But it's like when I know better, I'm not gonna just sit and just take it. You know what I mean? And I think really everybody should take that. Like, don't sit and take something when you know you shouldn't take it. Like, don't just take it to be a good person. Like, I'm a good person too, but I can only take so much bullshit until I'm just like, okay, you poked the bear a little too much. Now the bear wants to fucking claw you on the face. All right, you know what I mean? Like, you just pissed him off. He was only 2 months into his fucking sleep. He's got 4 more to go, and you pissed him off. All right, like fuck, man. You know, shit like that, or like, what was one that just happened? This actually happened just recently with the Kansas City, because surprisingly enough, NFL football is still going. It's going on right now. As we speak today, there's multiple games in the NFL being played on Sunday. The Kansas City Chiefs were this past Friday. And, you know, and of course with all the Black Lives Matter things, the pro athletes have done more to speak out on this shit than the fucking actual leagues have. You know what I mean? Like, which, I mean, there's not much they can do, I guess, you know, like in the way of like making an influence on it. But it really does feel like the players are doing a lot more when it comes to this issue than it does with like a lot of professional sports. I say the only ones I'd say are basketball because of the players, and baseball has actually made a very conservative effort for like almost every broadcast I've ever watched. They bring it up. It's like, and we support blah blah blah, and they go with it. But anyways, back to the thing this past Friday. So it was the the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. So it was a matchup of last year's playoffs when, if anybody knows that game from last year, the Chiefs should have lost. The Chiefs were down 24 points in the first quarter. They came back and won the game in dramatic fashion. The Texans didn't score a single fucking touchdown for the rest of the three quarters.
Yep.
And Kansas City came back and blew them out of the water.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And this game was no different. Like, the score of it, I wasn't expecting like them to fucking win. I mean, not the Texans to win. I wasn't, and of course they didn't. But what they did at the beginning of the game was they locked arms in the middle of the field, all the players, to say, "Hey, we're behind Black Lives Matter." Do you know what some of these dumbass fans that were actually allowed to be in the fucking stadium did? They booed. They booed them. Are you fucking kidding me? Even Eddie Griffin came out with a fucking video today. Dude's from Kansas City, and even he's disappointed in you fucks. He's like, man, y'all really booing your Kansas City champion Super Bowl winning team because they support blacks. You hate black people that much? Like, it's true. It's like, really? How are you gonna boo them for that? Especially during this time. Especially those fucks who are actually able to go to the stadium. How are you gonna boo them? You're lucky to even be in that motherfucking place. There's a goddamn Queen of England cutout in the motherfucking stand somewhere. You kidding me? And that's not a joke. You can go back and watch the previous broadcast. They literally show her on the fucking screen of, oh, look, there's the Queen of England. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. But just like, I don't get it. I just don't. I don't understand where these people, like, they boo these professional athletes for that shit. Are you kidding me?
Right. It's like you don't have to agree with them. Just shh. Sit down. Sit your happy meal ass down. You'll get your sports in just a few minutes. Let these people
just let them do it.
Say something that means something.
Right. Like, don't just fucking bring them down because I don't even get why. You know, like, I just don't even understand why. Like, you could think of a reason of why people would do it. This one has no reason at all. Like, why?
It's just like, boo, I didn't come here for politics. I came here for football. Football!
And it's like, you know what, you're lucky to even be in the fucking stadium because there's no other professional sports that are allowing you to be in the stadium besides football right now.
Right.
Are you kidding me, man? Like, come on. Like, I don't necessarily agree everything that's gone on with it either, like some of the bad shit. Mm-hmm. But I don't just boo a fucking team because they want to be like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, or there's a fucking thing. At this point, it's like, look, before you just go and boo, listen to the other side and then give your fucking opinion. Don't just boo it because you see it right in front of you. You're just like, meh, meh. Shut up.
Because that's the problem.
Shut up.
That's being a part of the problem. It's that kind of mentality and attitude is why they did that. It's why they all locked arms and made that positive message. Yeah, exactly. Unity.
Even the white players were doing it too, man. It wasn't just like all the black players. It was like all the players were on the, well, I think it was the captains at least, but the captains were on the field, white and black, arms together. That's what we want. Don't boo that. Come on now. Like, that's the whole point of this thing. We're trying to have equality, and then you dumbass fans are in the fucking boo. I really think there should be a dude. If there's people who boo that shit in the stands, there should be just a dude with, like, not an actual sniper rifle, but like a fucking paintball sniper rifle. And he's just sitting up there and it's like, boo, pink! And just nails them right in the fucking head. It doesn't kill them, but it just leaves a nice mark of, like, shut up.
Right, like, where's that t-shirt cannon?
Yeah, where's that? Oh, yeah, we're gonna modify paintball. Boom! And to even make it even worse, freeze the paintballs. Freeze the paintballs so they actually feel the shit, so it's like, hey, shut up. Watch your sport, shut up. Nobody wants your fucking opinion right now, because that opinion is fucking invalid. I'm sorry. At this point, that shit's invalid. Like,
I know, if I heard that, if I was on the field and I heard boo, I'd be like, wait, okay, so you want to come down here and play this game?
Right.
No?
You wanna do
okay,
this?
then sit the fuck down and let me fucking speak my piece.
Right. It's like everybody's got a platform. Like, don't, and I think it also goes for like the athletes, you know, like,
yeah,
because they are paid, you know, and that for some reason that always warps people's minds of like they're different because they have money. And normally that is a case sometimes. A lot of the times that does happen. Somebody gets into money and they do completely change.
Yeah.
But I have yet to see it really with professional athletes, man. Like, here's a good example. Like, baseball players, before the even season started, they were doing live streams on YouTube playing like a players' league against each other. Every player from every professional baseball team were represented in this, and we're just playing online. And it was a good way to connect to people. They're all fucking people. Does not matter if they're making a fuck ton of money. They do the same shit we do when they go home. I really think that people just kind of take professional athletes give them a little too much of a hard time. You know, don't get me wrong. I know that professional athletes are supposed to be presented in a way where it's like, hey, like, you know, kids look up to you, you know, like they're professional athletes. But in the same time, you gotta let them speak out. You have to. Unless it's something really fucking dumb, like the flat earth bullshit, then yeah, you can fucking berate those dumb fucks. I don't care. And that goes for you too, Kyrie Irving, you idiot. That's the one thing that never got me. We have literal pictures of the Earth outside of our atmosphere in a fucking station hovering above Earth, and there's still people who are like, nope, the Earth's flat. It's like, wouldn't we like see fucking, I don't know, just some kind of news story of big tanker fell over the edge of the Earth today? Like, wouldn't we have gotten that by now? I'm normally like, yeah, listen to the other side. This is one where it's just like, no. The science beats you by a landslide and has beat you for years.
Yeah.
Stop. Just fucking stop, man.
Yeah, no one's busting a Yui at the edge of the Earth.
No. There is no sign that says, caution, end of the Earth here. Like, there's no sign in the middle of the fucking ocean that says that. There's nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if there was, if we took a picture outside of that, where would the fucking water go?
And you can't stop there. If the Earth is flat, then that means the moon is flat, the sun is flat.
No, the moon's made of cheese. Remember?
Oh, right. How foolish of me.
How foolish. But no, yeah, but you can just dissect that and just like every time it's like, where the fuck are you getting your info? Like who the fuck told you that the Earth was flat? Or do we live in the 1600s still? What? Back then, yeah, that's understandable. Nobody knew back then, so yeah, the flat Earth thing fucking was okay because nobody had a good idea of what the Earth looked like. We definitely know it's not fucking flat. This fucking thing rotates on a constant basis around a fucking sun with other goddamn planets in this solar system and does it on a constant basis. Come on! You guys can't, people cannot be that dumb. Oh, speaking of sports, there was one funny thing I saw, and I never knew this was a fucking injury. So, Zach Wheeler, who just became a new daddy, good for him. He's not pitching, I guess, because he said, what was it? He injured his fingernail in an incident while dressing himself Wednesday. So, let me put this into perspective for you people. He pretty much broke a nail and can't play. But I will give him this. As a starting pitcher, since your hands are, you have to have a grip on the ball. Like if people don't know this, like when pitchers make their certain pitches, they hold the ball a certain way for every single kind of pitch. So curveballs, certain pitch, a changeup, a fastball, even two seam, like everything's got a certain grip. If your finger is hurting, it really does fuck up a pitcher's like their velocity, their mechanics. I can tell you, dude, you see a pitcher that's hurt and he's trying to pitch, his shit's not effective and it's just yard. If anything's wrong with a pitcher, they're just not effective. So I give him that, but in the same instance, when you read this, it's like, wait, he broke a nail and he can't play? What? You know what I mean? Like, It's just so off-putting. It's like, oh.
Yeah, that's something I never thought I'd hear.
Right, exactly. And this is literally like this past week. On September 11th, this fucking article came out. So.
Never forget.
Never forget. He broke a fingernail. Oh, shit. Here's a really random, weird story. So, you know the term tree hugger, right? Obviously, you know the term tree hugger. Well, this lady, in what I assume this is Britain, decides to take it a step further. Mom of two who married a tree celebrates their first wedding anniversary. You heard me right, people. This is not a joke.
I love cases like these. I love when people marry inanimate objects, like the woman that married the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And seeing her grind on that fucking rusty fucking thing.
Oh my god.
Making out with it.
Right.
So you said she has kids?
She has 2.
Oh my god.
She's got 2 kids. One's a 15-year-old. So this is what the article says.
I wonder how they're taking all this.
Not very well. Not very well. A mom who married a tree left her boyfriend at home as she marked her first wedding anniversary with it. And yes, there's a full-fledged picture of this bitch with this fucking tree. She left her husband and her 2 kids to be with this. She's like, this is what she said. She's like, me and my friends went over to the tree and said hello for a small celebration a couple days ago. It was a little gathering with 2 friends who were raised a toast and a glass of elderflower champagne. I guess it's like because it's a plant-based champagne or something. I don't know. It was a little, not once have I thought that I shouldn't have done this. It's something I feel like happened at the right time. Despite causing a little bit of embarrassment for my 15-year-old, he sees the bigger picture and now understands what it's for. Yeah, no, because he definitely, there's a line in here where they talk to the kid and the kid's like, no, I'm not comfortable with this. It's just like, this woman's not even ugly. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. She's pretty. Mm-hmm. What are you doing marrying a fucking tree?
Mama likes her wood.
Apparently. Like, this is so weird. How do you expect your 2 kids and your husband, which now divorced husband, I assume, or maybe he just doesn't fucking care because he knows he doesn't have to compete with a fucking tree?
I'd say he does because that tree stays hard all the time. Hi-oh!
It's like this takes Tree Hugger to a whole new level.
It really does. It goes from tree hugger to tree humper.
Dude, like it's so
tree lover.
Like, how do you think her 2 friends were when they went up? It's like, oh, we're
nice to meet you, Plank.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like what? How are you supposed to respond to that? Like what?
So what does he do for a living?
Oh, he just sits here and blows in the breeze all day.
Oh, he provides oxygen. Oh, he's in the.
Oh, he's in that business. Okay.
He's in the air business. Okay.
I hear that's a really good business. You can make a lot of good money doing. No, I'm all for saving the trees and shit. I'm all fucking for it, man. But don't marry the goddamn thing. Don't. Like, what do you do? Do you just take a branch and let it fuck you in the pussy? Like, what do you do? There's no way you're having sex with this thing. Are you? Are you having sex with it? Because I think we need to have a talk if that's the case. I think you need to find maybe you just need a black man.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe you just need to go find a black man or something. I don't fucking know.
Those poor kids.
Dude, that one 15-year-old. Do you know how much he's getting made fun of? Because of his mother?
I was gonna say, like, now, like, their future generations are gonna look on their family tree and there's gonna be a family tree.
Right, a literal family tree.
They have a family tree on the
family tree. Oh yeah, there's the little saplings that they had. That's Twiggy and that's Plank Jr.
Oh my god. Hey, do what makes you happy, I guess.
I fucking guess, man, but I'm not so sure about that. I think sometimes you just gotta tell people, like, hey, no. You just gotta tell them no sometimes. Like, that's just somebody who just was like, they told somebody and then they're like, is this a bad idea? And it's like, no, be you, be free, yeah. It's like, you don't think she's got a little mental health issues or something? You don't think there's something wrong with her? Just a hair? Just a smidge?
She comes home with a ficus and it's like, here's our adoptive child.
Oh my god.
Now, kids, welcome your new brother or sister, whichever you like to call him. He's non-binary. And make sure you water him every 2 hours. It's just bath time.
Oh my god, I can't. Oh, fuck.
And make sure you take him out when you go out to play, because he needs plenty of sun. Oh, man.
Okay, well,
Mama needs to get laid.
Something needs, yeah, she needs something. But speaking of nature-wise, this is something cool. I showed you this before.
Mm-hmm.
A woman, a surfer, actually broke the Guinness Book of World Records for riding the biggest wave.
Yes.
How big was this wave, you may ask? 73.5 feet high. That is literally the size of a building downtown in New York. That is huge. You take a look at this fucking thing, it has me fucking terrified. Like, you know, you see like those surfer videos where like, you know, it's just a casual dude, it's maybe like a 10-foot wave or something, nothing too major, it's just like, woo, looks fun.
Yeah.
This throws that out the window and makes this shit look terrifying. It's that scene from Surf's Up where like he's trying to ride the big wave and then
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. I'm like, fuck that, man. But she did it. She rode it out all the way. The waves crash right behind her and she surfs it right. I'm like, dude, you've got some fucking balls, because I could not. I would freak out as soon as I'm riding that wave and looking back and like, fuck. And it's just like, but it just fall off. That's what fucking happened to me. And then, oh, we don't know where BJ went. He just kind of got taken away from the fucking 80-foot wave that just hit. We don't know where he went. There's his board, though. This is in, Portugal. This is just like, look, guys, you can do shit during COVID. This bitch just rode an 80-foot wave during a quote-unquote crisis. You can do shit.
Yeah.
Promise you can do shit. And I guarantee she didn't catch COVID doing that shit either. Oh, that reminds me. Have you heard the thing that Russia's got this, like, COVID cure or whatever, and they're, like, holding it, like they're not giving it to anybody?
I did hear this,
That's something like that, and I'm like, are we really at that point now where, like, we're gonna withhold, like, cures for what? For what? Power? Really? You're gonna hold... Like, even now they can find some political fucking thing with this. Like, oh, we got the cure, but you're gonna have to pay. It's like, really, man? Really? Putin? Really?
Yeah, it's like that fucking guy, Martin Shkreli, who had the cure for AIDS and was like charging like $100 a pill or some ridiculous shit like that.
Yeah, and that's where South Park made the fucking, you know, that meme episode where, it was Kyle and Cartman. Cartman the whole time saying that they both have AIDS. And then they go meet Magic Johnson and then they figure out the cure for it. They blend up $50,000 and inject it into their bloodstream. And that got rid of the AIDS, and they're like, oh my God, it's a cure! I don't know, I have a lot of nature shit, but this one got me kind of, I mean, it's a good story. It's a 50-year-old snake from the St. Louis Zoo lays eggs.
Oh, wow.
And here's the thing, though. The snake hasn't been in interaction with a male for 15 years. 15 years. So they're trying to figure out whether this was asexually or... Because they have been studies where they found that snakes can, like, hold the sperm in them and just hold it for a while and then have eggs. So they're trying to figure out which is, like, either, like, one or the other. But I'm like, that's so odd. I mean, not, like, odd in a bad way, but it's, like...
Yeah.
That's so weird, because, like, I think, isn't it frogs can be, like, asexual? Can't they, like, change their gender and shit?
I think so.
I think there's, like, some type of frogs that, like, they can change their gender for, like, what the situation needs. Like, if they need to make babies, they can switch their anatomy to be a female and then can lay eggs and shit.
Frogs are not asexual, but depending on the species, frogs can reproduce through internal fertilization or external fertilization.
There you go. But same thing like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then you look at the human race, it's like, oh, we have to fuck you, wait 9 months, and then have a baby.
Yeah.
Or we can artificially inseminate you and do it that way, but you still gotta wait 9 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there is no, oh, she got fucked 15 years ago, she kept the sperm inside of her and then had a baby.
Right. If only.
If only that was the case. You get a lot less accident babies that way.
Yeah.
I only say that because I technically am an accident baby. So, if you don't want to believe me, I'm the only child that my parents had, and they were never married. They got together in college.
They did the do.
And then 9 months later, I was born, and I don't have any siblings. So that can tell you where the fucking started and where the fucking ended. Now, I don't know what's going on in the Northeast. I'm not sure what they're doing up there in New York, New Hampshire, Connecticut, what have you. But the fact that you were allowed to have a 40-pound African Severo cat as an exotic pet, but this is the problem, it's on the loose.
Oh, shit.
And let's take a look at this. You look back at the history of how long we've actually had, been breeding cats. Has not been that long. Really hasn't been. If you look at it, they've only been doing it for maybe over 200 years. Where dogs, we've been doing it for at least longer than that. So yeah, they're domesticated. Like my little Gambit down here, he's domesticated as hell. Cats, on the other hand, there's a reason why cats do shit on their own, because they still got the instinct of they're wild. You know what I mean? That's why you'll see a cat see a mouse and he just murders it.
Yeah.
And then comes and brings it to you. It's there you go.
So it turns out that Spartacus, the serval cat, was found safe after being spooked by a family dog.
So this is the story corresponding with mine, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Good. At least the cat got found. Here's another thing, though. How the fuck are you letting that thing get out? How the hell do you not have a giant fucking fence around wherever the fuck you live?
I was gonna say, there should be an inspection.
On that.
Yeah, before you're able to bring the cat home, there should have someone come and inspect your home and make sure it's serval cat appropriate.
Right, this is just not a regular cat. This is a literal wild animal that you are literally letting live in your house. The fact that it doesn't maul you, you should be thankful, because it probably could do it at any point in time. And this is a huge cat. This is the size of a medium-sized dog.
Yeah. Yeah, they're big.
That is huge. That is huge. And I mean, granted, it could be the nicest cat in the world. We have no idea. But that's insane. It's I mean, what? New Hampshire's gonna eventually let tigers be fucking legal up there? Because fuck, that's what it is in Texas. There's 5,000 tigers in Texas. 5,000 tigers in Texas. If 30 of those get loose, we're fucked. If 30 of those fuckers get loose, people are dying. You remember the whole pig teacup thing craze that was going around California for a long fucking time?
Oh, yeah.
And then they found out they just starved the fucking pigs, so they looked that fucking small. So when they actually got the pigs and they started to grow, it's a full-size fucking pig, and they're like, wait, this isn't a teacup? What the fuck? And then some people just let their pigs go, and then they turn to feral pigs. You know, they're used to being relaxed, and then they get literally put into something that's completely different than what they're used to. So, I mean, by nature, yeah, you adapt to where you're at. So most of the time, I would agree that, yeah, they have to be little assholes.
Yeah.
But on top of that, they take their assholeness a little too far, and then they start going into human civilization and start fucking that shit up. Which is why in Texas they have the law or the thing of you can just shoot as many fucking pigs as you want and they don't give a fuck. Literally don't care.
Yeah, they're practically vermin.
Tim Kennedy on Joe Rogan podcast is literally telling Joe, we're gonna go out and shoot pigs next week on the helicopter? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
It's a date.
Yeah, it's a date. Well, since we're on that, and I just spoke of Joe Rogan, everybody knows that, first of all, good for Joe Rogan getting that fucking $100 million Spotify deal. The amount of people, when he was showing the new setup, and by the way, I love the fucking new setup. The way it looks, and to be fair, it's a lot bigger than what it looks like. The way it's designed, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to look like that, where it looks smaller than what it is, but once you get in there, it's oh,
I dig it. It feels futuristic.
Exactly. And it's that's kind of the point of Joe moving and stuff like that. If he was to just make the same old setup,
yeah,
I don't think anybody would care necessarily.
Right.
But it would just be oh, you just brought the same setup to Texas. It's not new. How the hell are people hating on the fucking new set? That's my thing. I just don't understand where people are they just hate it. And I'm why? Because it's new? Is that why you hate it? Because it's new and you're not used to it? You want the old shit back? Hey, I'm with you. I mean, in a sense, I'm I like the old set. It was cool. All the fucking knickknacks and shit that were all over the table. You can see, all the different shit that people have given him over the fucking years. But it's hey, people have to change eventually. I don't know. I'm excited because Joe's talking about it, and we have to fucking go whenever it gets built. And people, if you don't know this, Joe Rogan is going to build a comedy store in Austin. And he's bringing a bunch of comics. A bunch of comics are going to move down there so they can do this spot. this is going to be awesome. A club ran by Joe Rogan, and he even said, he's like, I'm not even worried about making profit. Like, we break even, that's what I want. I just want people to actually, I want to have a community. I want to have good comics be able to work their material and shit, and just have a good good comedy scene. He's trying to rebuild it. That's good. That's what we need. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. There's a stupid goat story that I found that was really fucking funny. It's like this police officer, I don't know if like it's her house, if she goes to somebody's house and was like doing like a, just like somebody called in or something, but she must have left her door open because this orange-brown goat gets in her car and starts eating her paperwork. Oh, wow. Just gets in, and what does she do? She doesn't like just try to get the goat out because it's had a collar and shit. She doesn't try to pull it out. She sits there and is like, go on, get out of the car, get out of here. And it's just like, I'm like, bitch, grab the goat and take him out of the fucking car. What are you doing? And like the goat still has fucking paper in his mouth, and she's trying to pull it out of the way, and of course the goat's like, and like pulling it back and shit. I'm like, leave the paperwork. It'll be fine. It's his food now. Okay? And I mean, this goat had to be in the fucking cop car for like a good minute. It's like sitting on both seats, eating her paperwork and just staring at her like like
I wish you would.
With her creepy ass eyes. You know what I mean? That is the one animal. Why are goats' eyes like that?
I know, right? They're like,
it's so alien.
They're like demonic almost.
Right. It's like they're half, and maybe that's where the whole thing of like the whole goat thing comes up. But I always kind of thought of it as like, what if they're aliens? What if goats are actually aliens? And that's why they look like that? Like, what would happen if that thing's pupil dilated?
Oh, fuck, dude.
You know what I mean? What would that look like if a goat's pupil just started to, like, dilate? How would that look? Would it just be a bigger rectangle, like, on the eyeball? It's just like a big, like, it's like one of those sensor bars that they do to, like, cover up, like, nudity and shit. Does it look like that?
I want to see that now.
I don't even know where this at. I think this is in, I want to say this is, like, Georgia or something. Yeah, this is in Georgia. That's what I thought. Yeah, this is in Georgia. Of course this would be in Georgia. Why wouldn't you just have a pet goat randomly on your fucking property?
He's just like, this is some good shit.
Bring it.
Some good print.
This guy had a felony. Tastes good. Drunken drivers. I love this one. This one tastes so good. Oh, here's So, in Charlottesville, they're taking down a Confederate statue that has been in front of, where was it? It was a violent white nationalist rally point 3 years ago, and like caused a lot of murder and a lot of bad shit happened. Now, granted, when we talked about the Robert E. Lee statue being taken down, yes, I was very animated about it, and I still feel the same way I do. But I think in a different sense, this is probably what should happen with those. Because, yes, those people were not good people in the grand scheme of this country. They really weren't. But I don't think we should just necessarily destroy the statues. I think most of this shit should just go into literally a Civil War museum. Just put it there. Because that way it's okay. Yes, there's a statue of Robert E. Lee, but it's in a history museum. It's not in the public eye somewhere, just like, yeah, we still like Robert E. Lee, or yeah, the Confederacy is still here. It's like, let's just put that in the past. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, you already see it. There's already, statues being taken down everywhere and shit, which is fine. I just don't like it where people are like, we just need to destroy it. We don't need to remember them at all. It's like, no, hold on. We do, because that's how you learn from your past. You look at the history of other people, what they did, and you learn from that. You don't just say, fuck them, and they're erased from history. What does that help? That doesn't help anything. That puts holes into our history, which then somebody's gonna come along and be like, wait, this was there. What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, and then we become part of the whole thing of like, censoring shit. And it's like, I think we're past the point of just censoring shit. You know what I mean? I think we're very much, like, certain things do need to be censored. I get that. Like, there are things that do. Like, some things just don't need to be, they don't need to be out there like that. But this is something completely different. This is part of our history. And as much as I don't like the Confederacy, or, like, just the thought of that stuff as much as the next person, it's a part of our history. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. It's part of our history. Like I said, just take the shit to a museum. Take it. Just take it to a museum. Make a big-ass Civil War museum. Put it in Gettysburg. Like, wherever. Just put the museum somewhere. Take all the Confederacy artifacts we find all around this country. Put it in there. There you go. Problem solved. Who's going to be mad at that? And we can have both Union and Confederacy things in the same thing. Just do it that way. Just do it that way. Don't destroy the shit. Like, that statue, even though it's a bad statue of a Confederacy soldier, I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, not that bad.
Yeah.
Really. Because it's just a Confederacy soldier. It doesn't even give a name or anything. It's just a dude who fought in the Confederacy. Okay. Was he the generals and shit that were doing all this shit? No. It's just a Confederacy. He probably was born in New Hampshire and fought in the Confederacy Army. That's probably what I would assume was why that statue was built. And that thing had been sitting there 113 years. 113 years that thing had been sitting where it was at. And then you're just gonna just fucking destroy it? Why? I mean, it even goes the same thing with, like, if you go to, like, to Iraq and stuff. When they tore down those, not saying necessarily they should have kept it as, like, you know, to put it in a history museum or whatever, but there should be something for there to be like, hey, this is like the past people we've had. They're not good people, but this is what they did. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, I mean, shit, we do it with, I mean, granted, we don't do it with ours. We think almost every single president was fucking good except for fucking Nixon. Like, it's like one of the only presidents that gets so much shit. And I mean, granted, I get, you know, Watergate wasn't all that good and shit. I get that. But I think their presidents have done some other shicey shit since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's the worst guy in the fucking world, or was the worst guy in the fucking world. I mean, for fuck's sake, people still make fun of him. Like, they make fun of him all the fucking time still.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, he was the president of the Earth in Futurama.
Right. Just so they can do like every goddamn episode.
Fucking episode. This is crazy. And if you people didn't know this, I didn't know this either. And Gene didn't know this either. Billy West, the voice
speaking
actor,
of Futurama.
Speaking of Futurama, Billy West was on the Howard Stern show back in the day.
That's so nuts.
In the 90s.
I cannot believe that's crazy.
It's fucking nuts, man. I did not know that. I was like, really? That's where you got to start from? And apparently from Billy West's thing, he was a huge, like, drunk, an addict and all that shit. And Howard Stern gave him the platform to do, what he needed. Now, eventually he did leave and became the giant voice acting megastar that he is today.
Yeah.
But before that, he was just little Billy West that can do really cool voices and shit. He would be a call-in for Joe or for Howard. Like, if he wanted a certain person, since Billy could do a voice, he would call Billy and he would just do that voice on the fucking air. That was his stick.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so weird. And now you see Howard Stern now, and now he's just bumping uglies with all the fucking celebrities and banned all the fucking people that helped him get fucking where he's at.
Right.
And I understand that Howard Stern has done a lot for himself before the Howard Stern show ever became a thing. I understand that he was a radio DJ and all that shit way before. He put in the work. But I think somewhere along the line, like, I don't know, maybe he just felt like he got fucked over too much by, like, people he knew, like Artie Lang. Not necessarily fucked him over, but, like, because Artie had so many drug problems. If you guys know who Artie Lang is, fucking hilarious comic. But Artie Lang was on the Howard Stern show from, like, 2003 to 2009, 2008, something like that. Had, like, 3 heroin drug problems and had to go to rehab and shit. And after the 3rd one, they're just kind of like, yeah, you can leave, Artie. But I don't know, like, Howard Stern from, like, years ago to Howard Stern now, maybe it's a thing he matured in a sense. I don't know, but it's like he just got rid of all the people that helped him, like, or just, I don't know, like, he changed, and maybe not for the better. I mean, fuck, his show is like one of the only ones on. I mean, Opie Anthony is not even on anymore. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even have his radio show anymore. He still does a YouTube thing. If you I think it is called Opie Radio if you guys want to look it up on YouTube. I don't know. Like, I think it just hurts. I think it just hurts, like, his image.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not saying that, you know, he will go down as one of the best interviewers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Forever. Like, it's just where it is. Like, he is. But
there's no disputing that.
No, there's no disputing that. But it's a weird thing of, like, you took a weird pivot. You know what I mean? The show was this, and then you just wanted to make it because you wanted to bump elbows with fucking celebrities. Like, you had that status already, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he's getting older and he just doesn't want to deal with bullshit anymore. I can understand it because he's been doing it in the radio for, what, 40-odd years?
Yeah.
Something like that. Some crazy fucking number. But it's like, don't just fucking ban people that helped you forever. Artie Lang thing, that's fine. Artie couldn't kick his drug habits. He has now kicked his drug habits and is actually fucking healthy, which is a huge fucking relief because, man, I don't know how much Artie Lang could fucking do drugs and stay alive. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, you can only do so much heroin before you kick the bucket. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You can only do so much drugs until your heart's just like, ugh! It just gives out. Like, I don't want it to be another Chris Farley situation. I don't. You know what I mean? I just don't, man. Like, I wasn't even really alive to hear Chris Farley shit. But man, I wish I was old enough to, like, had experienced him when he was around. Because that dude was fucking funny. And Artie's funny, too, in his own different way. And you just, I don't know. I'm sick and tired of seeing people die. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, this week in baseball, we lost Tom Seaver and Lou Brock of the Cardinals, who, if you guys don't know who either of those two are, Tom Seaver was on the Mets team when they won the World Series back in the 60s, was literally the franchise back then. Like, you talk to any New York Mets about Tom Seaver, they will tell you fucking stories for days about that guy. Same thing goes for Lou Brock. I know Lou Brock. He was with the Cardinals when they went to 3 World Series back in the day. And I mean back in the day, like 70s, 60s, stuff like that. He was a really good fucking player, and man, it's sad to see him fucking go. It was so sad. Like, I don't know. It's just people like that. They had such a huge impact, and it's like, fuck, man. Like, fuck, they're gone. And, like, did we really appreciate them while they were here? Or are we just giving them all the appreciation now because they're not here? You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I know those people do get appreciation. It's not like they didn't, you know, they did, but, like, did they really get the appreciation they truly deserved before they died? Because it does seem like almost every single time when somebody famous dies or whatever, they get a lot of appreciation after they die. But it's like, before that, it's like, where was that before?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, people take that type of shit for granted.
You know, and I'll even go a step further. Like, the guy, I really wish I remembered the dude's name, but I don't. The guy who played Black Panther.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman.
There you go, yeah. Like, I don't know, it was like a thing of, like, all these people were coming out about, like, oh, how good of an actor he is and blah, 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 but it's like nobody was saying that shit before, and then after he died, everybody's like, oh, he was such a good actor. Oh, it's like, why didn't you appreciate him when he was alive? You know what I mean? Like, now we all know that he had cancer when he was doing the Avengers movies. Like, he did. Like, if nobody knows that, you're hearing it now. He had cancer when he was doing the Avengers movies. That's why afterwards, when you saw him, he looked sickly.
Yep.
He looked skinny and sickly. He did not look like what he did in Black Panther or even in the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and you know, and I give his people credit for keeping it under wraps. You know what I mean? Because something like that, especially in the celebrity world, something like that always gets leaked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, somebody says something to somebody and then it gets leaked out to fucking TMZ or some shit. This literally didn't get told until he died. Which I'm like, good for them.
But that's what crushed me the most with his death. It was just like, man, like, he did so much charity work and he did so, especially for people with cancer. And it's just like, man, to know that he never made it about himself, it just makes him that much more of an admirable guy, like that much more of an inspiration. Right. Like, you always hear it. It's like the person who boasts about the shit they've done, they're not doing it just because they're doing it for attention. But you're right. Him, I didn't even know he did charities and shit.
that's how it really should be. I mean, not saying like you should know he's doing it, but it's like you said, he didn't make it about himself. He made it about the people that he was helping. Like, hey, I'm here to help you. This is not about me. This is about you guys getting better.
Yeah.
And that's what this is for. Like, that's what you need. That's what, especially in Hollywood, that's what you fucking need.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, Hollywood, but you are fucking falling. You are crashing right now. You're fucking, your state sucks ass. Your governor sucks ass. Like, everything about California right now sucks ass unless you live in the mountains and you're away from that shit. You know what I mean?
I know, it's so bad there, and they still have the audacity to have such a high cost of living.
Still.
Like, dude, like, the shit is literally on fire.
The shit is hitting the fan, literally. Like, how are you still gonna be this way? You know what I mean? And even the fucking laws that they had were like, like, you can't go to the beach and shit. I'm like, it's a fucking spread out place.
Right.
In the sun. And we all, I mean, at least from the studies that they show, you know, like, the COVID gets killed by, like, sun rays and regular, like, artificial UV light. So it's like, you could be out in the sun, just don't be fucking squashed together like fucking sardines together on the beach.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. But, you know, like you said, the cost of living down there, that's exactly why a lot of those comedians are leaving. Because it's like, why am I staying in a place that's cost so much to live in when I can't even do what I came here to do?
Yep.
Like, what's the point? You know? And they couldn't even open up the comedy club. The comedy club tried to, like, open up as, like, a restaurant just so they could actually, you know, get people in and shit. Nope, they shut that down. The comedy club is literally shut down. You know? And it's like, I don't know if that, I mean, hopefully it makes a comeback. I hope so.
It's fucking...
It's sad, you know, like comedy clubs everywhere. How are they supposed to stay open? You know what I mean? And California's not helping.
No.
They're really fucking not helping at all. Like, especially the homeless problem down there, man. I keep hearing, like, obviously I've never been down there, but the stories I hear, there's tent villages of homeless people everywhere in front of, like, people's houses and shit. Dude, I'd take a fucking high-pressure hose so quick and get those motherfuckers off my lawn. Are you kidding me? Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about the law. Get the fuck off my lawn, you fucking hobo bastards. Get the hell out of here. The fuck? Hey, you want a piece of toast? Go get it. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get off my fucking lawn.
Get out of here before I whip out my hose.
Seriously, I'm shit, dude. If I lived in California and that shit was happening, I would have a literal firefighter grade hose on the side of my house.
Right.
And, oh, you guys don't want to move? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're homeless, but do you want to be homeless and wet?
Right.
Think about it.
On the other side of the street, because this water pressure is going to push you that far, I will push you to that other side of the street. I will put your tents on the other side of the street. I promise you. Test me, motherfucker. Test me. I work too hard to have hobos on my fucking lawn.
You ever been tackled by water?
You are now. You ever been tackled by water? It's going to give you a nice, big, hurtful hug. But just the fact that that's a law down there, that doesn't help the homeless problem down there. You know what I mean? How does that help?
No, man.
Dude, if you saw that shit in Nebraska, dude, people would be up in arms about that shit down here. Are you kidding me?
That's why it's so nuts over there. That's why the homeless rates are so high there, because people move out there to make something of themselves, and they don't, you know, they're missing, they're not informed. They don't know how high the cost of living is, so they get there and they end up fucking homeless, and it's really sad.
Right, and I think a lot of the times it's like, why don't you make a plan to go out there first? Like, I know a lot of guys do go out there and they make it big. It is a thing that happens, but it doesn't happen to everybody. I think that's the misconstrued part. Yes, you can go and take a fucking risk.
Yeah.
Take it a risk in life you need to. But like you said, California, with the way it is, it's almost like living in New York. You move to New York, you better have a good way of making at least staying even.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, like you said, you're just gonna be another fucking homeless dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing with Colorado too. Colorado has the same fucking problem too. Like, you go to Denver, people go to Denver for whatever fucking reason, and then they have a giant fucking case of homeless. You know, and I don't know if it's just like you other people around the country just still have this stigma that Nebraska is just all corn land or something like that. I don't know, because there was a guy at work, and he was originally from Alabama, and he came here, You know what he called Omaha?
What?
A town. And I looked at him, I'm like, what town do you know has a downtown?
Right.
What town do you know has big buildings in their downtown area? Love to see that if that's the fucking case. And I'm like, and we like had it, and I even asked him like, what do you consider a small town? He's like, 100,000 people. I'm like, have you not driven through Nebraska, my friend? I can show you a town that's 60 people big.
Right.
That's a small town.
I lived in a town that had like 200 people. That is a small town.
That's a small town. Even a place that only has 1,000 people. That's a small town.
Yeah.
Something that has over 10,000 people, that's not a small town.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally just a town.
Yeah.
There is no small. No, it's just a town.
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain point, it stops being small town. I don't know if half of the country even knows what a small town is. I really doubt that they do. Because to go see my girlfriend, I drive through at least fucking 10 small towns to get to where she's at. And she lives in a small town.
Right.
Like, and none of those motherfuckers, except for one, is above 50,000 people. There's only one that's above 50,000 people that I drive through. And that's just considered a town. It's not considered a small town. It's a town. Like, I really think there needs to be some education on these fuckers. It's just like, small town, town, city. There's a difference. You can't just smush small town and town together. That just doesn't fucking work.
No.
Or, I mean, you could even call them a village. Like, a small town is technically a village.
Right.
Like, that's what it is. I don't know. It just... that just got me when he said that. I'm like,
oh, I get it. I hate that shit too.
It just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, you lived in Alabama. What's the biggest city there? Birmingham? Okay. You have small towns there out of the fucking wazoo, I would imagine, in Alabama. I've never been there, but have you been through there?
No, I haven't.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, I'm like, you driven through there once before, Gene?
No, fuck. You won't catch me. You will not catch me dead in Alabama.
Just like you'll never catch me in native country. Dude, when I say like the native thing against white people is real, it's fucking real. Like, it's so scary. Like,
Oh yeah, they're still hurt.
oh, they're still hurt, but they're hurt at the wrong people. You know what I mean? Like, they just hate like most white people, and it's like, motherfucker, my family didn't even own slaves. My family came over here way after that.
I was gonna say, like, no, you're mad at the Spaniards and the British.
Right.
Leave me out of it.
Leave me out of this. I'm Polish, Irish, and British, or Polish, Irish, and German. Get the fuck out of here. Like, the fuck? We were oppressed half of the fucking time before we even got here. The fuck? Like, yeah. You know, like you said, it's more of like they just go and target somebody without even really knowing their background. They're just like, oh, you're white, so you must have had slaves when your family was in here. I'm like, if they started here, sure, but
right.
My family came here in the 1800s. Like, way after that. Like, 1850s even. Like, they came way after the fucking fact. Don't be getting on me because you think I had fucking slaves in my fucking family. I guarantee you we did not have slaves in my fucking family. We probably worked with fucking slaves more or less. Guarantee it. Like, my family was small fucking farm family in Kansas. That's where we were, in the middle of buttfuck Kansas. Cuba, Kansas, mind you. You want to go look that up on the world map? That is a tiny little fucking town in Kansas, all right? Like, you know, just like I said, it's that thing of like they just don't want to know the other person's side. They just want to automatically just be like, you're wrong, you racist fuck. It's like, I guess. I guess. If you really think I'm racist, that's fine. I would really disagree with you, but... Oh, yeah, I wanted to say something on... when I said, way back in a couple podcasts ago, when I said, like, America the way it is, how they have so many bases everywhere, I still agree with that statement that they should not have that many bases all the way around the world. Still shouldn't. But hearing a podcast with a guy named Tim Kennedy who lives in Texas, and he is with the military right now as a special forces guy, explained it a little bit better, as in a lot of the time, or at least sometimes when they go over, it's not that they're there to take over, it's there so they can help the government that's there to fix whatever problem's there, and they're just there to help, which that if that is the case most of the time, then that's fine. But at the same time, do we have to have a base everywhere? Like, I think that was one thing I had, like, I just didn't really get with the guy, and I was like, you know, you say, like, you know, you want to stop tyranny before it happens, you know what I mean? And I get that. But why do you have to have so many bases everywhere? Like, that's my thing. Like, we can be there without having a base there. Like, again, what other country in the whole world has bases everywhere? Like, they just don't. And again, the way he described it is that a lot of the times when they go over there, it's not to just conquer, which I would hope is, you know, what they do more often.
Yeah.
Now, he did say with the Iraqi war and shit, he's like, yeah, probably... Yeah, you know, like that was a war that we started, you know, like that was a war that shouldn't have happened anyways. Like, you go, like he even said, like, you try to go over there, they're the way they are, they have been forever. Like, even American influence doesn't change the way they do stuff over there. Like, they're still the same way they are even after we've been there. Like, there is no change in it. It's just like, if you want a better government, though, we can help you with that. Like, that's what it should be, but again, that's going into the whole thing of, like, you know, I don't feel as though America all the time wants to fucking take over the world, but man, if it doesn't look like that half the time, you know what I mean? Like, he was saying, like, oh, you know, we haven't had 9/11 since then, and that's because why? And I'm like, I'm sure that's because of why, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not even taking away what happened in 9/11. What happened at 9/11 was fucking awful, okay? Let me just get that out of the way. I'm not discrediting what happened that day. What happened that day was fucking terrible, okay?
Never forget.
Never forget. But in a different light, if you look at what happens to other countries and then us, it's like the worst thing that's happened to us. Besides bombings of our own people that come in and bomb ourselves because they're fucking nuts, you know what I mean?
Mass shootings.
Mass shootings, all that shit. Most of the time, it's us that cause the fucking shit to ourselves. It's not other countries.
Yeah.
And yes, I get it. He was like, oh, there's been thousands of fucking attempts on this fucking country and we stopped it. Great. You should just be doing that in general. Like, that should just...
That should be, you know, you're the military.
You should be the
That's
military.
what you're there for.
Like, dudes with fucking goats and fucking caves got you one time. All right, you learned your lesson.
Right.
Don't let it happen again. But I don't think we need to go and police everybody. Like, we need to go into a country and just... I mean, unless they ask for it, I guess. Unless they literally ask for our help. I don't know. It's just odd. You know what I mean? And if the U.S. wants to do anything about the Iranian people, or just the Middle East or whatever, then take a look at the Iranian government after this shit. With the fucking execution of this 27-year-old wrestler. Okay? And I'm not sure if they're telling the truth of that he stabbed a water supply guy in 2018 when there was all this like revolution shit going on with Iran and shit. Like, he may have, he may not have, but from what it seems like to me, it was a huge fucking deal that this dude got killed, and it seems like with no good fucking evidence either. You know what I mean? Like, a dude in the UFC who was fighting on UFC Fight Night was doing a post-match interview and stopped and cried because he heard this information, because he's from, I think he's got ties to Iran, like his history and whatever. And it's like, okay, why don't you go take care of that then? Why don't you go take care of those fucks who just literally killed a dude for no fucking reason? I mean, granted, we need to fucking do the same thing here with us, but like if you want to stop tyranny, there's tyranny right over there. Like, go stop those fucks. Now, granted, we've been in Iran forever, so, you know, maybe they're already on top of it or something, but it's that classical thing of we have our own problems here. Let's fucking figure it out. But in the same aspect, you know, the military has their own agenda, you know? Yeah. And so, you know, regardless of what I think, they could just be like, well, that's just not good thinking. And I'm like, well, okay, I don't have the information on that. Could you fucking help me out? No, we can't because it's classified. Okay, thanks, military. You're awesome. Thanks, dickheads. Not everybody. Let me rephrase that. Not everybody in the military is a dickhead, but a good majority of people in the military can be dickbags.
Always count on you to dodge a fucking question.
Well, you know, funny enough, that's all I got.
Oh, okay.
That's all I had.
All right. Well, I would like to wake people up.
What's that?
Stevie Wonder can see. Okay? Now I know you laugh. I know. He.
No,
Oh, that's so funny. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. No, I'm serious.
Like he actually can
Stevie
see?
Wonder can see. For how long, I don't know, but I suspect always. I suspect he has always had the ability to see. And I know what you're wondering. Do you have any proof? Yes, of course I do.
Why would you bring this attention if you didn't have proof?
So I want you to direct your eyes to the screen as I present to you some evidence, okay? I'm gonna start with Exhibit A, and this is the weak one.
How many exhibits are there?
There's just 2.
Okay.
But here's Exhibit A. Now, I'm going to sound crazy, okay? I'm going to appear crazy because I
mean,
want...
you already sound crazy that saying
already,
he can see,
I know.
So.
I've already lost everyone. But I want you to just stare into this man's eyes. He has shades on, as he always does, but you can still kind of see his eyes here.
Oh, man.
I'm coming after you, Stevie.
You thought you were safe and you're not. I can see you, you can see me. Like.
Again, watch his eyes.
Oh, you can actually see his eyes through these. Okay. I
Yeah.
see what you're talking about.
All right, watch his eyes very closely.
Okay.
Okay, he's putting on the act right there. You know, he's looking up like he...
Yeah.
Look at him. Look, he's looking down. He's looking at where he's putting his fingers, and he's adjusting knobs and shit. Tell me, how is a blind man doing that? Look. He knows he knows exactly where the knobs are.
But wouldn't people say that he learned how to do that? He just learned the figures.
Fucking bullshit. Fucking.
I'm just saying, people are gonna say that. They're just like, well, he learned how to do it just by, playing it forever, and he knew the spots where to put it.
Oh, you fucking Stevie Wonder stands defending this liar. Okay, there was a certain point in this video that was just undeniable, that he looks directly at a knob and he's like spends like a good 20 seconds adjusting it.
Right.
See, like oh no, I think he's playing the keys. See, I sound crazy, but it's okay. That's all right. You know what? We'll just move on, because I don't even remember exactly where it is in this video.
Now you just don't want to stop because you want to see where it's at.
I know. All right.
I did see what you were talking about, and he did look down.
Okay.
But now what's the other example you have here?
Here
I'm
we
sure
go.
That's going to give more
This is like, there's nothing you can say to me.
That doesn't say that he's not blind.
You cannot tell me this man is blind. All right, you ready? And this thing that I'm about to play for you, it has fellow celebrities like vouching that this man is not blind. Like they know him personally,
Okay.
And they're trying to tell people, but they think that they're joking. Just like you think I'm joking. No, I'm serious. Watch.
All right.
Here's a fun fact. Stevie Wonder wrote the song Sir Duke about me. And he's been faking his blindness his entire life.
That sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory.
Thanks, Big Mouth.
Chocolate Thunder, Stevie Wonder gave you that name, right?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Stevie got vision like no other person. I still believe Stevie can see.
Stevie is probably, I'm going to tell you something. I've been spending my whole life with him thinking he can see. I know he can see.
I thought you said sing.
No, he can see.
I'll tell you Stevie Wonder story, but you're not going to believe me.
Come on, man.
So,
It's a true story.
it's a true story. So,
According to Shaq.
we lived in a building on Wilshire. So you park your car and the valet's down there. So I'm already in the building. I'm coming through the lobby. Door opens. It's Stevie Wonder. He comes in, says, "What's up, Shaq?" Presses the button. Hold on, true story. Presses the button, gets off on the floor, by himself, goes to his room, I went and called every person I knew. He got on the elevator. What's up, Chuck? How you doing, big dog? You know what I'm saying? And yes, he did. Yep.
But y'all don't know, Stevie can see. Stevie can see. It's just an act.
It's just an act.
I go over to his
Here we
house,
go.
and he says, I got a record I want you to hear. He pulls a cassette out. Cassette. For all of you don't know, a cassette is a, forget about it. So he pulls the cassette, he says, come go with me in the car. He goes out to the car, and he goes on the driver's side. He said, get it on the passenger side. I get on the passenger side, and then he puts the cassette in, he cranks the car up, and he goes, and he puts it in reverse, and starts down the driveway.
What?
He's going down the driveway. I said, Stevie! He goes, I got you.
Okay.
How would he even get a car in reverse? How would he even know to get in the driver's? Where would he know where the car is parked? How is he blind? Hold on, we're getting there though.
You're Stevie. You're Steve Harvey.
Stephen done some up to me. Let me tell you about the time he came up to the radio station when I was on the beat out here. Stevie was supposed to be performing live or doing keyboards, and he was late. And I had just bought this brand new truck called a Lincolnwood a long time ago. I'm on the radio. I get a phone call. It's Stevie Wonder. I say, yo, Stevie, where you at, man? You supposed to be here. Now, I'm on 19th floor on Wilshire doing my radio show. I say, Stevie, where you at? He said, I'm here, man. I'm just pulling up. I said, you can't drive. He said, oh, yes, I can. Look out the window. This motherfucker was in my new truck with the windows down, and it was moving real slow, and the motherfucker was waiting.
Chris Tucker and Johnny Gill. Chris Tucker and I.
We still haven't gotten to the part that's undeniable. We getting there though.
On stage,
but watch.
Walks to me, looks me dead in my eye, and says, Anthony, get me to a piano. I was like, Stevie, well, hell, if you just walked to me, you could have walked to the piano.
Exactly.
He caught himself.
He caught
He
himself.
caught himself and had to play it off. And so I took him to the piano, and he played.
Come on, you want to see me drive this car away? Well, if I was driving...
Look at his eyes here.
You think he'd crash or you think he'd go all right?
I wouldn't crash.
Did you challenge Stevie Wonder to a basketball game?
He won.
He won.
He won. I'm honest, he won.
Okay.
Wow.
Look at his eyes. He is looking at the camera.
You'd fly them yourself?
He looked at the guy that's holding the camera, then he looked directly at the camera. He is not blind.
Actually landed the plane.
So it's a long con.
Dude. And we still haven't gotten to the best part.
This already seems like damning ever since it says it is. Sorry about that.
Just be Stevie.
Stevie.
Come here. Stevie gonna do this. Stevie gonna be. He gonna do that. Tell me what Stevie gonna do.
Please join us. Please, Stevie, please join us.
It's an act. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is undeniable. Watch closely.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. Did you miss it? Don't worry. Don't worry. Instant replay. Here you go. Paul McCartney nudges the mic stand, and look who tries to catch it.
Wow. Wow.
Take away all his awards.
Take away all his awards.
Take away everything. This man's legacy has been a lie, and I am furious. This guy.
You honestly, up until that last one,
yes.
I literally just took it as celebrities just
joking.
a joke.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But that
So
one
did
thing
I.
where you see him try to catch the mic, it's like, motherfucker,
Yep.
you're blind. There's no way you would know that they caught that.
Because I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, these guys are just it's a running joke. Okay, Stevie can see. But when it would cut to Stevie talking to the paparazzi, I was like, he is totally looking at these people. And then, then it gets to that last part, and there's just no denying. Like, that dude could see that mic falling. He ripped off the business model of Ray Charles, and he deserves prison time. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I get what you mean, though.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Dude, he was able to tell he was in an elevator with Shaq.
And he pushed the button.
And went on the elevator
and walked out. I don't care if you have a great memory at all. There's no fucking way you know which button to push, even know where to go to the fucking elevator.
Right.
Stevie driving a car. Stevie driving a car. Come on, man. Like, he literally looks back and is backing up the car. I'd be the same way. I'd be like, Stevie, whoa! What the fuck are you doing? Let me drive. He's like, I got you.
So yeah, next time you see Stevie on the street, just fucking tell him, liar, fake,
you're a big fat phony. Hey, look, everybody, it's a big fat phony. There's a phony who lives over there.
Perpetrator. I looked up to you, man.
Oh my God.
But anyway, yeah, so Stevie Wonder can see. That's just my two-piece.
Holy fuck.
Oh, man.
That almost made me cry laugh. Not as bad as the squeaky rap, but it was pretty damn close. Whew. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Let's get to this shit.
God. Okay.
Huh.
Okay, game face.
Game face. Put your grr face on.
Stevie Wonder face. Stevie Wonder face. Oh shit. Okay. You know what? I feel like laughing some more.
Okay.
So
let's pull up another one. Let's do it.
So you brought up squeaky rap.
Yes, I did.
And
and I will say, I got somebody to listen to it, and they very much agree. Shit to the 10th degree.
Yes, it is shite. It is definitely fecal matter.
Oh no, it's a wet shart. It's not a shite. It's a shart.
Yes, sir.
It's.
I'd rather listen to a shark.
You mean like what was it, Steamy Nicks on fucking South Park? And Randy goes and does a concert with her. You mean Stevie Ray Nicks? No, that's Steamy Nicks. She makes music by blowing out her britches. Sorry.
So I was thinking, man, I had so much fun covering that just
little bit.
Yeah, the just travesty that was. And I was thinking, man, we should do that type of shit more often. So I thought, like, we need like a segment where we like cover just ridiculous music.
Just bad music, just like or just out there music, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't thought of necessarily a name for it, but I'm thinking something along the lines of like
junk music.
Junk music, I like that. Junk, we'll call it junk music then.
There you go. You heard it live right here. Anyways,
have you ever heard of Rapping For Jesus?
I know of rap that is that based, but I don't think I've actually ever heard any of it.
Well, this track.
Can't say I've sat down and was like, I wonder what rap thinks about Jesus today.
Well, this track is literally called Rappin' For Jesus. I don't know who the artist is. I actually don't even know if this is like legit or a big joke. I'm gonna leave that for you to decide. You and the viewers.
Right.
But man, is it a good laugh regardless.
Oh, let's see this. Let's see this abomination.
Here we go.
Oh no. This already has a bad look to it already. Great. Set like 19. Oh God.
Well, I wrote this song for the Christian youth. I want to teach kids the Christian truth. If you want to reach those kids on the street, then you gotta do a rap to a hip-hop beat. So I gave my sermon an urban kick. My rhymes are fly, my beats are sick. My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's 'cause Jesus Christ is my nigga. He's a life changer, miracle arranger, born to the virgin mom in a manger. Water to wine, he's a drink exchanger, and he died for your sins. I preach the word, that's my gig,
did that
and
too.
I rhyme better than Notorious Big. All the other MCs, I wish them well, but if you live in sin, you burn in hell.
You a scared motherfucker, go to church.
Now I'ma pass the mic to my lovely wife. She's a fly MC and the light of my life. So to bust a rhyme without further ado,
he forgot the words. He didn't even say those words.
Jesus Christ is
oh my God, no.
He's the son of the original G.
Oh my
and
God.
He was sent to Earth to elucidate the way that we should be. Like if another MC says you're a freak, you're a lame butt rapper and your rhymes are weak. don't critique, I forgive him and turn the other cheek. I scream and I don't brag, I don't cuss.
Yo, somebody come get their grandparents.
I do exude a little Christian swag, and I'm proud to be an American.
Jesus Christ is a nigga. Shine through ya.
They're so genuine about it.
I know.
Jesus Christ is a nigga.
I like that they try to say it together, but they can't even say it on the right. They can't even say it in unison.
If you do drugs and you think you're cool, you need to come to Sunday school.
I'm good.
Those drugs in a garbage can. Stand up tall, you're a Christian man.
Nah.
Word up.
Nah.
I'm freestyling.
You fucking wish. That, my friend.
Christ up. Christ up, children.
How old do you think that video is?
Dude, I don't know. This could be one big joke for all I know.
I don't think so. I just...
Look, it even says to join our youth outreach program or to join our
congregation. I think this may have been like when the internet was like just getting started, and they're like, how do we get used to coming to our church? I know how. Let's make a rap about Jesus. But you know what? To be fair to that guy, at least he rhymed. At least he was rhyming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love...
He's got a nice flow. They both do.
Right, it's not bad, but I love that the conviction of when they said the N-word is just so...
Oh my God.
They just go for it. It's just, they give no fucks. They're just... This had to have been like in the 80s or something, because if somebody was to do that now, that would not fly.
Yeah.
You know that wouldn't fly. It wasn't bad enough. It was an old white dude in a suit. Then you bring his wife on, and she says it too.
Okay, so is this junk music? Are we considering this junk music?
Yes.
Okay, then I gotta do it, because junk music is the sort of thing that makes you just want to say...
Motherfuckers, you motherfuckers! What the fuck is this? You motherfuckers! What is this? Huh? This is whack! I can't get jiggy with this shit! Try again, motherfucker! Try again, motherfucker!
This has been Junk Music on the Won't Remember a Thing podcast. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, that made me cry. Oh, my God.
So let's bring it on home with Yesterday of Yesterday. Oh, man.
Shit, man.
Okay.
I'm sweating because I'm laughing so much. Holy shit, let me open up a vet real quick.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to read through these really quick so we can get out of here. So today is September 13th, 2020. And the most eventful things that have happened on September 13th in history
of today
are... In 1759, the French were defeated by the British on the Plains of Abraham in the final French and Indian War. 1788, the Constitutional Convention decided that the first federal election was to be held on Wednesday the following February. On that day, George Washington was elected as the first president of the United States. In addition, New York City was named the temporary national capital.
Huh. So New York was the capital of the U.S. at one point. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it does make sense, though, for how much they fucking hype up New York. You know what I mean? Anyways, go on.
1789, the United States government took out its first loan. 1847, U.S. forces took the hill of Chapultepec during the Mexican-American War. 1898, Hannibal Williston Goodwin patented the celluloid photographic film, which is used to make movies.
Oh.
1922, in El Azizia, Libya, the highest shade temperature was recorded at 136.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh,
I'm so hot.
Oh, fuck that. If you live there, you could never complain it's too hot. You could never complain it's too hot. You take like a motherfucker from like Arizona, you take him over there, and it's like, you think that's hot? sit in this for about 10 minutes and tell me how you feel, all right? You see them coming back, they're all crusty and shit, their lips are cracked and shit. It's like, I need water would be nice. Take your time.
1935, aviator Howard Hughes Jr. of Houston set a new airspeed record of 352 miles per hour with his H-1 airplane, Winged Bullet.
And still doesn't compare to aliens at all.
1943, Chiang Kai-shek became the president of China. 1948, the School of Performing Arts opened in New York City. It was the first public school to specialize in performing arts. And also in 1948, Margaret Chase Smith was elected to the U.S. Senate and became the first woman to serve in both houses of the U.S. Congress.
Woo. Did Dave Chappelle go to that art school in New York?
I think so.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I couldn't swear he did. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
making sure.
you're right.
Yeah.
1949,
A legend.
1949, the Ladies Professional Golf Association of America was formed.
And still nobody gives a shit.
Ladies think they can play sports.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure anybody in the women PGA could kick my ass in golf, but still.
1959, the Soviet Union's Luna 2 became the first space probe to reach the moon. It was launched the day before.
Oh, okay. So this is like before they did the thing, or mission to the moon. This is
Yes.
like before that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we probed the Earth before we got probed.
1960, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission banned payola.
Payola? What the fuck is that?
It's when you pay off like radio DJs to play your song or what have you. It's when payola is just paying someone to do something that's
Don't they still
not
do that,
necessarily
though?
a legal transaction. What?
Don't they still do that though?
Yes,
Don't
they
radio
do.
stations still get paid
They
to play
do.
people's
Cardi
songs?
B even admitted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've ever watched The Coal Miner's Daughter? You've ever watched that movie?
No, but I have heard of it.
They do that exact same thing. She is a country music star, and they go around to radio stations, and they don't even like tell them to like pay them to like they're not paying them to like play the song.
Yeah.
But they're just like, here, can you play our tape? Like that's just shit that they do. That's how people get out there.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand like why that would be illegal.
Because it's not a legal transaction. You're literally just paying this person who has no power really. It's just their job to host a radio show. You're paying them to play the song. They didn't go through the chain of command to get that song played. You just skipped all the middlemen and just went straight to the radio host and said, hey, for your trouble.
I just find that to be easier.
It is. It works wonders, but yeah, it's not exactly legal.
No.
1965, the song Yesterday / Act Naturally was released by the Beatles. One of my all-time favorite Beatles songs is Yesterday. 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Plastic Ono Band made their live debut at the Rock and Roll Revival concert. Eric Clapton was on guitar.
What?
That's fucking cool. 1970, the first New York City Marathon took place. Fireman Gary Murrock won the race.
Nice.
1971, the World Hockey Association was formed.
Wow, it took them that long? Hockey's been around for... Fuck, they were around for like 80 some odd years before that happened.
Jeez.
That's fucking crazy. Jesus.
They're like, wait a minute, we can make money off of this.
Right, no way. People like seeing people fight and hit each other on the ice? Oh, who would have guessed? Jesus. Anyways.
1974, speaking of this lying sack of shit, Stevie Wonder started...
Is that why you brought it up today?
No, I honestly didn't know this. Stevie Wonder started his first tour since his near-fatal car accident. Should have died. No, I'm just kidding.
Goddamn.
1977, the first diesel automobiles were introduced by General Motors. 1981, U.S. Secretary of State Alexander M. Haig said the U.S. had physical evidence that Russia and its allies used poisonous biological weapons in Cambodia and Afghanistan.
Yes, that was actually true. I remember that. Or not, I don't remember that because I wasn't alive, but I remember reading about that, yeah. Don't you hate those people who, you tell them something, you're like, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Dude, you weren't even there.
I was there in spirit, though.
Oh, yeah, I was there. I knew mind connectively. I knew what was going on.
In 1988, forecasters reported that Hurricane Gilbert's barometric pressure measured 26.13. It was the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Western Hemisphere.
Can we talk about that? Why the fuck do they give hurricanes such dumbass names?
And where do the names come from? Is it like...
They switch it off every year. It goes from like a woman's name
to a man's name.
Yeah,
but like, why?
Why do we name natural disasters?
Is it literally the first name that someone thinks of, or is there something? Is there some meaning behind that?
Or is there like a dartboard where there's like a bunch of names? All right,
Right.
just throw one and that's it. All right, that one, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Or like, is it like a carnival thing where there's a bunch of balloons? Pop a balloon and get a name.
1994, U.S. President Bill Clinton signed a $30 billion crime bill into law. Also in 1994, the debut album and only album of Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die was released.
Didn't he have other albums that got released later, but he didn't, like, he wasn't alive when they were put out? Or was that just Tupac?
That was Tupac for sure,
Yes.
but I want to say Biggie had like another, like, had like a collection of unreleased tracks
That they just
released.
made
I don't
into
know,
an
but I
album.
know for sure he's only had that one album.
And isn't that crazy, though, that he has made such an impact on rap and he only made, only really released one album?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And now you see rappers who come out with an album and you're just like, garbage. Just like, why did you even make that? Like, what was the point?
Fucking junk music.
Right, exactly.
1996. Tupac Shakur died 6 days after being shot 4 times in a drive-by shooting.
That was today?
Yeah.
Damn.
1998, the New York Times closed its website after hackers added offensive material. 1999, Marcelo Rodriguez, a Beverly Hills police officer, filed a multi-million-dollar slander lawsuit against George Michael. The suit alleged...
The singer?
Yes.
Wow.
The suit alleged that the singer had committed slander in the song and video for Outside. Rodriguez had arrested Michael on charges of lewd behavior in a public park on April 7th, 1998.
So he was showing his dick. So he just had his dick out in the middle of the park.
Hip thrust. Lastly, 2001, U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell named Osama bin Laden as the prime suspect in the terror attacks on the United States on September 11, 2001. Limited commercial flights resumed in the U.S. for the first time in 2 days.
That's one thing that I always looked at. They said he was the cause, but he's not the one who did it. I get what they mean because he was the head of whatever whatever terrorist group it was.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it himself. I mean, not saying he wasn't guilty. He definitely was fucking guilty of doing shicey shit. Not saying that, but like, he wasn't the one flying the plane. If that was the case, he'd be dead.
But that was the most eventful things that happened in yesterday's of yesterday. That is the show.
That is the show. Fuck.
So that's it for today's entry. If you have anything at all, you can go ahead and direct that to won'trememberthingpodcast@gmail.com. That is won'trememberthingpodcast@gmail.com. Don't you dare put an apostrophe in won't, or you will piss me off.
Don't be a Stevie Wonder and say you can't see the shit.
And with that, we love you, and we'd say thanks for listening, but you probably won't remember a thing. Jesus Christ is my nigga. All right, goodbye.